welcome to another edition of Word on the Web. I'm so excited that you tuned in. 15 minutes in the Word. Why? Because 15 minutes is enough time to change your life. Listen, I want to share something with you today that I know works. I want to share with you what is going to take to make sure that your relationship stands. I want to talk about particularly the relationship between the man and the woman, but these principles can apply to any relationship you have in life. It can apply to the relationship you have with your children. It can apply to the relationship you have with your co-workers. It can apply to the relationship you have with your church family. Whatever relationship you find yourself in, these three pillars, trust me, I found out for myself. What I'm sharing with you tonight is not what somebody told me works. I'm telling you what I know for myself. In fact about it, I just want to apologize for anybody I may have had a relationship with in any aspect, spiritual, and these three principles were not viewed, because if these three principles at the forefront, I'm seeing this thing in every relationship I got in life. I'm seeing productivity, I'm seeing fruitfulness, and most importantly, I'm seeing peace. I want to look at it, and it's what I call the triple A of relationships. It's the tripod of relationship. When you look at relationships, particularly the relationship between the man and woman throughout scriptures, what you'll notice is that no relationship was problem-free. I say that because what I want to share with you by way of this series is that these 3 points can help regardless of the state of your relationship. These 3 principles can help regardless of the state. So every relationship you see in scripture had problems. And the reason that was is because every relationship in scripture had problem people that were part of the relationship. And I'm not talking about them having small problems. Y'all, they had big problems. Big problems like Mary and Joseph. Them big kind of problems. She's saying she's pregnant. Joseph saying it's not his. He ready to put her away without having her being stoned. And all of that. I mean, big problems. And so throughout scriptures, you see this. But these 3 components is what allowed those in scriptures, watch this now, to be remembered not only by their experience, by what they gain as a result of those experiences. So here's the first one. You ready for it? If your relationship is going to be what God intended, if it's going to really stand in the midst of COVID-19, in the midst of any kind of dilemma that there may be, if it's going to be that, y'all, here's the first thing. You ready for it? You've got to view your relationship not just as an accomplishment, but you've got to view it as an assignment. You've got to view it as an assignment. You see, oftentimes where we find ourselves, what I like to call in unmature expectations. It's expecting things, watch this, that are nearly impossible from somebody at this moment in the relationship, at this stage in their life. We have immature expectations, and oftentimes it's because we come to the marriage or we come to the relationship viewing it as an accomplishment as opposed to an assignment. When Paul talks about 1 Corinthians chapter 7, and as he's correcting the church's thinking about relationship and about sex and the reason for sex in marriage as opposed to sex before marriage, he gets to this issue and he makes this point very clear. And around verse 23 of chapter 7, listen to what he says. He says, an unmarried person only has to concern their things about that pleases the Lord. Straight focus is them and the Lord they have to please. Now, of course, when he's talking about unmarried, he's talking about in the scope of how God intended, meaning There's not married. There's not single woman, single mother, and then single father. No. This is in the perfect world, if we could say that. He's saying to that woman who is unmarried, calls her virgins there in the text, unmarried. Only thing she has to do, same with the man. Only thing they have to do is seek to how to please God. But the fella and the sister who is married, he says the struggle is that there's dual attention. They've got to divide their attention. They've got to seek how to please God, and they have to seek how to please their spouse. Now stay with me. He's not saying that's the way it has to be. He's saying that's the way it is. And oftentimes, the reason why there are so many challenges is because we don't view our relationships as assignment. We view them as accomplishments. Now with this age, and now we need to settle down. And so now it's off the do list. And now we're with somebody, and somebody loves us and we love them. But when it comes down to this, viewing them as an assignment, not a project, as an assignment. The word of assignment is a sign. Somebody that you have come into their life, and they have come into your life to make them better. And here's where we mess up at, y'all. I am guilty of this. We look for people to make us happy, but we didn't start out looking to see who we could make happy. Because we didn't view it as an assignment, we view it as an accomplishment. An assignment not as a slave, but as an assignment, watch this, that when I make decisions, I consider how it makes you feel. I consider how it makes you look. I consider how it impacts your life. Because part of my being with you is making sure you've got everything you need. You are my assignment. And when you start looking at your relationships, not just as accomplishments, but as assignments. Now, a child, I couldn't put up with him. Maybe because that's not your assignment. Ain't no in the world, man, I better deal with that kind of woman. Because that's not your assignment. Making any sense to you? Assignment. It is you understanding that I am in this person's life and they are in my life. Watch this. So that them being in my life, me being in there, it's going to make us better. It's going to cause us to be what we can be. That's my assignment. Yeah, listen, and we'll deal with some of this tomorrow when we talk about this last stand, this last piece of this tripod. But listen, when you understand that the person you're in a relationship with, in the midst of all of your emotions you feel toward them, in the midst of all of the lovey-dovey, that you have signed up for an assignment. Let me tell you what the assignment is in a nutshell. Because I know you wondering, what's the assignment? Let me tell you what the assignment is in a nutshell. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 21. We like to jump down to wives, submit to your husbands, and then sisters run over husbands, love your wives. As Christ loved the church. And that has its place. And we're going to look at that. But I want you to rethink this. Look now. What's going to keep it standing, your relationship, is understanding the assignment. And here's the assignment. Submit one to another. It is to say, watch this. Submit, that word submit, better, let me explain to you. The word submit there is from a Greek term, and it means to fall in place. It's the idea of a soldier who's keeping time with the officer. It is submission. It is taking your will, man. Oh God. And saying, not my will. Well, let me say it in a way that you could really get it. Not my way, not me having my way. It is my assignment to say to you that in this relationship, I know I can't always have it my way. That's not compromising. That's surrendering. It's an assignment. And what's going to make your relationship strong is when you understand you are involved with somebody that you declare you have the capability of meeting their needs. And those are the needs that they have exposed to you. Those are the needs that they've let you know. And they in turn have said, I have the capability and the willingness, and you have the willingness to meet my needs. When you understand that in that time of relationship, that's your assignment. What's going to make it strong is understanding what's your assignment. In that relationship, you have an assignment. Paul makes it clear it's submitting one to another. Listen, that's my time with y'all tonight. I hope I said something. If it's no more than just to kind of shock your thoughts for a minute, we'll come back tomorrow and look at this. How can our relationship stand? Next time, 15 minutes. Because that's enough time to change your life.